Perhaps the first step you should take as a new prepper is to secure your water source. Find a water storage area, find something to store water in, and find a way to purify it should you come across water of unknown origin. Today, we're going to take a look at something that's kind of really new and innovative. I've never seen one before. This is the BKLES 0.01 Micron 5-stage electric water filter. Let's see how it performs. Alright everybody, welcome back. So today we're taking a look at a new product here. This is the BKLES, or BKLES, I don't know how to say that, 0.01 Micron 5-stage electric water filter. This is kind of different for me because the water filters that I've reviewed in the past all required some kind of manual labor to get them to work. Granted, not much manual labor, but some. This, on the other hand, will do it for you. And that's kind of neat if you are a single prepper or if you're out in the woods alone or whatever. It's kind of a force multiplier. It allows you to do other stuff while your water is being filtered. It has a rechargeable battery in it, so there's no need to mess with batteries and bring a bunch of batteries with you. A simple solar panel and this cable right here that comes with it, and we'll get into what else comes with it. A simple solar panel sitting outside in the daytime can charge this up and you can filter a whole lot of water very, very quickly. Now this has a 5-stage filter. You have an ultrafiltration membrane, a PP cotton filter, KDF and activated carbon filter in the filter element itself, and it can ensure 0.01 micron filtration. It can effectively reduce chlorine, heavy metals, chemical impurities, sediment, and other large particles, and can improve the taste as well. This has passed FDA standardized testing. It is UL certified, and it's very simple to operate. You're just going to push a button, turn it on, and it's going to filter for you. You have a built-in large capacity lithium battery in there. It can purify about 5,681 ounces of water. So that's enough for a 10 to 15 day backpacking trip before you even have to think about charging it. It also can be powered in multiple ways, which is kind of neat too. You can use this in your vehicle. You can use this anywhere you want to. You can charge this anywhere you want to. It does come with a small light on it, which is kind of handy. I'll show you that in a sec here. You just push that button there. And the light will allow you to look at the charge and see how much charge is remaining. It's kind of handy, I think, at night when you're doing this, if you're using this at the nighttime. Again, I don't necessarily like all the bells and whistles on stuff. I don't need a water filter that's also a pocket knife that's also, I don't need all that stuff. But having a light on things is really handy. And actually, especially with the power stations, my first thought was, why would I want a light on this? But it's handy to have for that immediate kind of thing where you can turn on that light, see what's going on, position your power station or position this and see what's going on around you. So it is kind of handy. It is very, very small. It's 12.3 ounces, very, very small in size, 350 grams for those of you that do things via grams. The bag here, the storage bag, can hold everything inside of it. You've got side pockets here. You can clip this onto your gear, put it onto your belt, you put it on a MOLLE attachment, however you really want to do it. Really, really handy and easy to do. We're going to show you all this stuff here. What I like about these also is they're labeled here. So this is inlet hose. You'll see on the end there it's labeled. And outlet, you have your pre-filter here. This is good. This is a hollow fiber membrane filter. So what's really neat is not only is this filtering out big rocks and sediment via the holes here, but you're already going through a hollow fiber membrane filter before you even hit that. So if this goes bad, who cares? Throw it out, get a new one. No big deal. So that's kind of handy about that too. And like I tell people, if you live in an area like I do, with a very arid, dry climate, having a way to purify any water you come across is golden. You should be storing water. And I always tell new preppers too, let's say you just discovered prepping this afternoon and you're watching these videos and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to get started. Oh, but I don't get paid till next week. What can I do right away? Take empty bottles in your house and fill them with water. Water is your most important prep to start with. Sometimes I tell people start with water before you even worry about food. Make sure you have enough water stored for emergencies. Remember, you can go 3 weeks without food. You're not going to be happy, but you can physically go 3 weeks without food. You can only go about 3 days without water. So, very important prep. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to set this thing up, and I'm going to show you how I've set it up. And we're going to get some nasty water from my garden out there that's just sitting in the mud. One of my biggest tests with these kind of filters is, does it filter out the taste? We have that caliche, very clay soil. And I've used filters in the past that It'll make the water safe to drink. Clean, clear, beautiful looking, but it still has that taste. You know, it's still got that funky taste in there. So what I'm going to do is set this thing up, get it all ready to go, and show you how I did it. And then we're going to try it and see how it works. I am going to run some plain water through this because it has a carbon filter, and I want to run some regular water through this before we actually filter water we're actually going to drink. You always want to do that with an activated carbon filter. You want to get all that crud and sediment out of it if there is any. Generally, today, not much, but used to be in the past you had to really clean them out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to set it up, and we're going to try it out. All right, so here we go. I have this submerged as best I can. It's not that deep of a bowl. But you can see that water is really nasty and silty and dirty. Again, this is caliche soil kind of stuff. That it always has that clay taste to it if you use a filter that's not of decent quality. So we're going to turn this thing on and give it a shot here and see how we like it. And already we're getting some water pumped out of there. You got to be very careful not to kink this hose. I did notice that. You see, we are getting water out of there. Doing pretty good. So I'm going to give it a little bit of time here. We're going to filter out the water. And as you can tell, from what you have here to what's showing up in here, it is much cleaner water. So we're going to let it run for a few minutes. You can see how it works. So far, I've been very pleased with this unit. I did use it to filter out a little bit of stuff before and try it out. And I also used it again before we started this video just to filter clean water because I wanted to run some more water through it and kind of clean out any of the filters, any of the impurities that might be stuck in the filters. As you can tell, it's working fairly fast. I believe this does up to about 264 gallons of water before you need to replace the filter there, okay? The suction pipe on it is a 1 millimeter suction pipe, so if you're going to do anything, the pressure pipe should be about 0.5. That way you have the best kind of fit possible on the end there. But honestly, the stuff that comes with it is fine. You just have to be careful not to kink it. As you can tell, it's working fairly quickly. So I'm pretty pleased with it. This does 23 ounces a minute, so I believe it's down to the bottom there. There's really not much more for it to suck out of there. So let's turn it off. Kind of getting to the bottom there. Not much left in there. All right. Put that over here. Now I'm just going to take this and take a sip of it and tell you what I think. Tell you if it's got that taste to it. Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. No clay taste whatsoever. Matter of fact, I happen to be kind of thirsty right now, so that was actually pretty darn good. No clay taste whatsoever. Very, very clear water, as you can tell. There's no sediment or anything in that whatsoever. My glass is a little dirty, but there's no sediment in the water. So as you can see, this really works well. This is something that's very, very handy that you can use while you're doing something else. Let's say you're getting your tent set up and you got a big thing of water over here that you want to purify that you got from the lake and you want to put it into bottles or whatever, or you just want to put it into one big jug. This can do the work for you while you're doing something else. I think as preppers, those of us who aren't in groups, I happen to have, a fairly decent group that I have getting together. But I think people without groups are going to find out that, there's a whole lot of work to do. And, doing it alone is going to be difficult. I always suggest that people kind of team up. Somebody once said to me when it came to survival teams and groups that if you're not teaming, you're dreaming. Because you're going to need the extra manpower. You're going to need the extra, or woman power, or the extra hands around to do things. You can't stand watch, cook dinner, check your garden, and filter water all at the same time. Well, now you can filter water while you're doing something else. So this is kind of a handy way to do that and have it as like I said, a force multiplier where you don't have to worry about what's going on around you. You can get this working and do something else and not think about it. So I'm going to clean up my mess here. I'm going to rinse out the filter. I'm going to give you some final information on it, let you know the price on it, and where you can pick it up, because right now, as the making of this video, Amazon does have one of those little 5% coupons under the price there. You just tick the little box, and it will save you 5% on it. So let me clean up my mess. We'll be right back. All right, all cleaned up, ready for its next mission. I used a back flush plunger on this to clean it out. Really wasn't all that bad, actually. Again, not an endurance test, but you guys see that it does work very, very well. Proof is right there. I tried this with my TDS meter, and I got about 190 on it, which is perfectly acceptable considering that was muddy water. Let's try it again here. You can see it's at 0. Drop it in. get a reading. Now it says 201. Being that it comes out of my, there, we'll hold it at 203. Being that it comes out of my tap at usually around 250, I'd say that's pretty darn good. Really, really nice filter. So let's talk about charging here for a sec. When you're done with this, when it needs to be charged up, you are going to need to charge this up. You're just going to open up this port down here, just like that. Okay, it is a USB-C device. It comes with this really nice cable. It's got like a woven kind of mesh over it, like some kind of fabric. We're going to take this and plug it in the back here, and you'll see what it looks like charging up. There you go. And you'll see that last button blink. When that last button is done, it is completely charged up and ready to go. So all in all, very, very simple. When I was mentioning back flushing it with a plunger, I used the one by Life Straw. I just happen to have this from a Life Straw. I have several of these. Really, I tried putting it in on the tubing and then plunging through that, and it would just spill out of the tubing, because as you can see, that's a whole lot bigger. However, just pushing this right here against it and plunging it in like that in the sink, like this, with water in here, really cleaned this out. As you can tell, you can take a look at that. It was kind of muddy. Now that's right back to being perfectly white, that hollow fiber membrane in there. All in all, works pretty well. I like the fact that it does what it says it's going to do. I like the carrying case for it. It is a very well protected carrying case. It's kind of overdone, almost like a Molly Mag pouch or something, you know. So it is a very well made product. Seems to be doing its job. We are going to be using this more in the channel for filtering water, because I want to test it out and see how it works out. But so far, so good. I'm actually impressed with it. Probably be getting a smaller plunger for it, because I do want to carry one with me. I mean, you can always just fill this with water and just blow it out, but I'd prefer to use a plunger. It gets a little more pressure out of there and cleans it out good. So I'll probably be getting a smaller one to fit in with that too. But that's pretty much it. So that is the BKLES 0.01 Micron 5-stage electric water filter. And like I said, something like this is really handy when you got to do other stuff. In a camp situation, even in a bug out situation, as you can tell, it's not loud, so this wouldn't be something that would draw a lot of attention or attract a lot of people around the area. However, in a wilderness situation, if you've ever been out in the woods, you know how loud the slightest noise could be. So that's something to consider too if you're trying to go for concealment. But, you know, for your average everyday person who needs clean water in an emergency or disaster, can't beat it. And it allows you to free up your hands and do something else. One of the reasons I like headlamps. Headlamps allow me to free up my hands. Wherever I look, there's light. I don't have to be holding the flashlight all the time. Same thing, force multiplier. So, let's talk quickly about the price. These are $59.16. Like I said, you can get that 5% off when you click that coupon. And a little bit about the info on this is the official model number on this is BK2000. The battery capacity is 2,800 milliamp hours at 3.7 volts. Again, it is a USB-C charging type. The filter element is 0.01 micron. You do have that little auxiliary light there. The net weight on it, 12.3 ounces. That's everything in there all together, okay? The product size, you got 6.5 inches by 4 inches by 2 inches across. Very, very simple, small item to use. So you can use these cartridges down here, these cartridges, for 264 gallons or 1,000 liters. Generally, if you keep them clean, I find you can use them a little bit longer. Hollow fiber membranes tend to last a good long time. If you've ever seen the insane claims by Sawyer Minis and Sawyer Squeezes and all, those things they say, oh, filter 100,000 gallons. Well, I've gotten up to about maybe 1,000 gallons on them, and they do need a good cleaning, and they get kind of slow. But it'll still work, and that's what we're going for, something that's still going to work long term. Anyway, folks, that is the BKLES 0.01 5-stage electric water filter. I will leave a link down below where you can check it out. Below that, folks, if you are interested in getting some good quality, American-made, prescribed to you by an American doctor, prescription antibiotics for emergencies via a consultation online, you can check out my Jace Medical site down below. When I first started doing the Jace Medical videos, there was a code. There isn't a code anymore, but you can check it out there. And you can also consult with them to see if you want to get anything else other than the basic antibiotics. Say you take cholesterol meds or whatever. They can do other lifestyle type medications for long-term prescriptions. They will do a consult with you. They will prescribe the medication to you. It'll come to you from an American pharmacy in the United States. You know, you're not, like I always like to say, you're not buying your your medication off some Russian website in Bitcoin. You're actually buying it from an American vendor with the doctors there that will prescribe it to you, and the bottles come with your name on it, just like you'd pick up your prescriptions at CVS. So check them out. Definitely worth the peace of mind. Some people were freaking out about the fact that the manual and the bag doesn't come right away with the stuff. They are a little backward on it. It'll take a couple weeks. But there is a downloadable manual on their website. So the important information you can download, print, stick it in with your antibiotics. No big deal. Underneath that, we have our Amazon affiliate store, which is where this will be. You can check out that link down there. Our freeze-dried wholesalers link saves you 15%. Folks, I can't begin to emphasize how important it is. I feel you stock up on food right now. Freeze-dried wholesalers has been really good to me. I've been using them for a while now. I have a lot of it, so I actually use it in my daily cooking, and I've given it to other people who absolutely rave about it. So check them out. Really good, clean food. And that link saves you 15% on anything you want, from filet mignon to cheesecake, all freeze-dried. Below that, our My Patriot Supply link. We've got a deal going on there this month. The last few days to get in on it, $50 off a 4-week food supply kit. And our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store is under that if you're interested in starting out with Thrive. And I notice a lot of you have been stocking up this month, so that's very, very good. And welcome to the new consultants that decided to join up too. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.